Did you know that there are 15 easy Italian words that even native speakers don't pronounce correctly? And most learners have no idea. In this video lesson, you'll learn what makes these words so tricky, how they're often said wrong, even by Italians, and some simple tips to pronounce them correctly so you can feel more confident when speaking Italian. Let's see how many you get correct. Share your final score in the comments below. There'll be 15 words in total. Now before we take a look at the first word, make sure you download your free PDF cheat sheet for this lesson. It includes all the vocabulary, pronunciation tips and examples you're about to see. Just click on the link in the description box below this video. Pronti? Iniziamo! So the first word Italians say wrong is, how do you pronounce this word? Is it
Olio, olio,
or do you say
olio, olio,
the correct pronunciation is
olio.
now the L-I-O part in olio, oil, is pronounced soft and smooth, but sometimes Italians tend to blur the sounds L-I and G-L-I, li and gli, especially when they speak fast. So you might hear
Olio,
instead of
olio.
Now us English speakers have it easy here, since we don't have the tricky Italian li sound. Chances are you'll nail it perfectly. Take a look at this example sentence of olio in action.
Mi passi sale e olio, per favore?
Can you pass me the salt and oil, please? Here's a fun fact. Olio does exist in Italian, but it's got nothing to do with oil. It's actually the name of a river in Lombardia. Now for 5 tips on how to understand fast spoken Italian, make sure you watch my video lesson right here. Moving on to the next word. How do you pronounce this? Is it
Meglio, meglio,
or do you say?
meglio, meglio,
Now the correct pronunciation is,
meglio.
but if you spend time in Rome, you'll often hear meglio instead. Technically, it's not standard Italian, but in practice, it's perfectly fine because it's part of the Roman dialect that they're speaking in. So remember, in proper or standard Italian, it's always meglio, lio. But don't be surprised if a friendly Roman says meglio. It's just local flavor. Take a look at this example sentence.
Oggi mi sento molto meglio.
Today I feel a lot better. Now, if you want to learn even more typical phrases in the Roman dialect, make sure you watch my video lesson right here. Moving on to the next word that Italians often mispronounce, it is. This word means tool, but how do you say it? Do you say
Utensile, utensile,
or do you say
utensile, utensile,
Now the correct pronunciation here is
utensile.
Now when utensile is used as a noun, like a thing you use in the kitchen, Italians say utensile with the stress on the second to last syllable, just like the original Latin word utensilia. But when it works as an adjective, meaning serving a practical use, like a tool used in a factory, it's pronounced utensile, following the Latin utensilum. Now the adjective form is less common though, and you'll mostly hear it in the expression
Macchina utensile.
machine tool. Take a look at this example sentence.
Questo nuovo utensile da cucina è perfetto per tagliare le verdure.
This new kitchen utensil is perfect for cutting vegetables. Are you enjoying this lesson so far? Don't let the learning stop here. Make sure you download your free PDF cheat sheet, which you'll find a link to in the description below this video. Moving on to the next word that Italians often mispronounce, it is, which means hammock. But how do you say it? Do you say
Amaca, Amaca.
Or is it pronounced
Amaca. Amaca.
Well, the correct version is
Amaca.
Now, this is another super common mistake in Italian pronunciation. The stress in hammock or amaca is on the second syllable. The reason is the word comes from the Spanish Amaca, which in turn was borrowed from the Caribbean word Amaca, where the stress falls on the second A. However, some Italians say Amaca, stressing the first syllable. Now, this widespread mistake probably comes from misplacing the accent when this exotic word first entered Italian. Take a look at this example sentence.
Durante le vacanze ho passato ore su quell'amaca senza fare nulla.
During the holidays, I spent hours on that hammock doing nothing. This next Italian word, which is often mispronounced by Italians, is... This means phone book, but how do you pronounce it? Do you say
Rubrica. Rubrica.
or is it pronounced
Rubrica. Rubrica.
The correct pronunciation is
Rubrica.
Now the stress falls on the second syllable, rubrica, and the reason goes back to its Latin roots, of course. This word comes from rubricam terram, which referred to a type of red clay that medieval scribes used to colour headings, initial letters, and lists in manuscripts. But many Italians pronounce it as rubrica, putting the accent on that first syllable, rubrica. No, that's not correct. Why? Who knows? But take a look at this example sentence.
Dovrai avere il numero dell'idraulico nella rubrica del telefono.
I should have the plumber's number in my phone book. The next word Italians often mispronounce is... This is the word for airport, something you'll need to say a lot when you're travelling to Italy. But how do you pronounce it correctly? Here are a few options. Take a look. Do you say
Aeroporto. Aeroporto.
or
Aeroporto. Aeroporto.
or is it
Aeroporto. Aeroporto.
Well, the correct pronunciation is...
Aeroporto.
Now, this is one of those sneaky words that native speakers mess up quite frequently. You might hear Aeroporto, or you might hear Aeroporto, but the correct way to say it is Aeroporto. Say this with a smooth ro in the middle. That's because this word comes from the Greek prefix aero, meaning air. This same logic applies to words like
Aeroplano.
airplane,
Aeroplano.
not,
Aeroplano.
and
Aeronautica.
aeronautics, pronounced
Aeronautica.
not,
Aeronautica.
Now, whenever you see the prefix aero in an Italian word, keep it neat and smooth. Don't be adding extra syllables like re. Take a look at this example sentence.
Ho lasciato la macchina al parcheggio dell'aeroporto.
I left the car in the airport parking lot. The next word Italians often mispronounce is... This means action, but how do you pronounce it? Do you say
Azione. Azione.
or is it pronounced
Azione. Azione.
Now, the correct pronunciation is...
Azione.
Now, sometimes Italians accidentally double the Z when it's followed by I and another vowel. That's why you might hear a word like action or azione pronounced as azione instead of the correct azione, giving the Z a heavier sound than it should have. This happens more in certain regions due to the influence of local dialects. In Sicilian, for example, doubling consonants that wouldn't normally be doubled in standard Italian is especially common. Take a look at this example sentence.
È il momento di passare all'azione.
It's time to take action. Now, to learn more about the differences between Sicilian and standard Italian, make sure you watch my video lesson right here. Are you enjoying this lesson? Don't let the learning stop here. Make sure you download your free PDF cheat sheet, which includes all the vocabulary and pronunciation tips from this lesson. Just click on the link below this video. Moving on to the next word that Italians mispronounce, it is. This means to persuade or to convince. But how do you pronounce it? Do you say
Persuadere. Persuadere.
or is it pronounced
Persuadere. Persuadere.
well, the correct pronunciation is.
Persuadere.
Now, the stress in this infinitive verb falls on the second to last syllable, so we say persuadere because it comes from the Latin suadere, to convince. However, the stress shifts to the A in the present tense, so we say
Io persuado.
I persuade,
Tu persuadi.
you persuade,
Lui, lei persuade.
he, she persuades, and so on. Now, because of this, Italians sometimes carry back that stress to the infinitive verb and say persuadere, but that's a mistake. A verb that follows the same stress pattern is
Dissuadere.
to discourage. Take a look at this example sentence.
Ho cercato di persuadere i miei amici a venire in vacanza con me.
I tried to persuade my friends to come on vacation with me. The next word Italians often mispronounce is. This means especially, but how do you pronounce it? Take a look at these double consonants. Should you say
Soprattutto. Soprattutto.
or should you say
Soprattutto. Soprattutto.
Italians often confuse the pronunciation of
Soprattutto.
with that of
Soprattutto.
because they sound almost identical, but they are two very different words.
Soprattutto.
Is two separate words, literally meaning above everything, describing position. But then we have
Soprattutto.
is one word, meaning especially. Because of the confusion, many people pronounce
Soprattutto.
as.
Soprattutto.
They miss that double T and copy the rhythm of.
Soprattutto.
Now, the correct pronunciation, however, is.
Soprattutto.
So you can hear those two T's there. Now, this has a strong, clear double T sound. Take a look at this example sentence.
Beviamo molto caffè, soprattutto la mattina.
We drink a lot of coffee, especially in the morning. Now, the next phrase that Italians often mispronounce is. This means unfortunately, but how should you pronounce it? Do you say
Purtroppo. Purtroppo.
or is it pronounced?
Purtroppo. Purtroppo.
Now, the correct pronunciation is.
Purtroppo. Purtroppo.
Now, the rolling R is one of the trickiest parts of Italian pronunciation, and purtroppo, unfortunately, is a perfect example. Even native speakers slip up because that TRT cluster is tricky to say quickly. As a result, in fast-spoken Italian, some inadvertently swap the first R for an L because it feels easier on the tongue to say, and they end up saying purtroppo instead of purtroppo. Take a look at this example sentence.
Purtroppo non ci sono più biglietti disponibili.
Unfortunately, there are no more tickets available. Here's a tip. If you struggle with the Italian rolled R, try tongue twisters. They are a fun way to train your tongue and make tricky words like purtroppo roll off naturally. Now, if you want to improve your Italian with some fun tongue twisters for all levels, make sure you watch my video lesson right here. Moving on to the next word that Italians often mispronounce, it means to speed up or accelerate. But how do you pronounce it? Should you say
accelerare, accelerare,
or should you say
accelerare, accelerare,
well, the correct pronunciation is
accelerare.
pay attention to the L's and the R's in this word. Now, this is another common mistake in Italian pronunciation. Many people say this word with a double L and they'll say
accelerare.
Now, that's incorrect. Now, this word again comes from Latin celle, meaning fast or swift, which has only one L. However, a common pattern in Italian pronunciation is doubling consonants after a stressed syllable, such as
Macchina,
car and
pallone.
ball. Now, in this word, the accent falls on c'è, which comes before the L. Because of this, many instinctively add another L, but the correct spelling and pronunciation has only one L, so we say
Accelerare.
Take a look at this example sentence.
Non puoi accelerare un po'? Altrimenti non arriviamo più.
Can't you speed up a bit? Otherwise, we won't make it. Let's take a look at the next word, which has two meanings depending on where you put the stress in the word. But if I wanted to say index finger, what's the correct pronunciation? Do we say
Indice, indice,
or should you say
indice, indice,
well, in this case, the correct pronunciation is
indice.
Now, this is a classic case where stressing the wrong syllable changes the word completely. When the stress is on the first syllable,
Indice,
it means index finger. But when the stress is on the second syllable,
indice,
it means the third person singular of the verb indire, meaning he or she announces. Take a look at this example sentence where we use it to mean index finger.
Mi sono tagliata il dito indice mentre cucinavo.
I cut my index finger while cooking. Are you enjoying this lesson? Don't let the learning stop here. Make sure you download your free PDF cheat sheet for this lesson, which you'll find a link to in the description below this video. Moving on to the next word that Italians often mispronounce. It is. Here we have another classic case where a word can have two different meanings depending on how you pronounce them. In this case, how do we say he or she breaks or violates? Should you pronounce it?
Viola, viola,
Or should you say
viola, viola,
well, in this case, the correct pronunciation is
viola.
as I just mentioned, this is another example where stressing the wrong syllable gives you the wrong word. When this is pronounced with the accent on the first syllable, as in
Viola,
this is the third person of the verb violare, meaning he or she violates. But when the accent moves to the second syllable, as in
viola,
then it means violet, as in the flower or the instrument. Take a look at this example sentence.
chi viola il codice della strada rischia una multa.
Anyone who breaks the traffic code risks a fine. Moving on to the next word that Italians often mispronounce, it is. Now, this word means brain or cerebral, but how do you pronounce it? Should you say
Cerebrale, cerebrale,
or is it?
cerebrale, Cerebrale.
Now the correct pronunciation is
Cerebrale.
Now the adjective cerebrale comes from the Latin cerebrum, meaning brain. So the first syllable is pronounced cere, not cele. The difference here is the re with an R and a le with an L. The problem is the cele sound is familiar because it appears in common everyday Italian words like
Celebre.
famous or
Celebrazione.
for celebration. That's why Italians sometimes accidentally say cerebrale by mistake. It's a classic case of the brain trying autocorrect when the correct version is cerebrale. Take a look at this example sentence.
La risonanza magnetica ha rilevato un piccolo danno cerebrale.
The MRI detected a small brain injury. The next word that Italians often mispronounce is quite surprising, and it is... Now this refers to the region, but how should you pronounce it? Should you say
Friuli. Friuli.
or is it pronounced
Friuli. Friuli.
Well, the correct pronunciation is
Friuli.
Now, if you want to see the majestic Dolomites, you'll need to head to this region, Friuli, Venezia, Giulia, a region in northeastern Italy bordering Veneto, Austria and Slovenia. Now, one interesting thing about this region is that most Italians pronounce it incorrectly. They say Friuli, putting the stress on that first syllable, which is incorrect. The correct way to say it is Friuli, putting the stress on the U. Once again, the reason has to do with Latin. Friuli comes from the Latin forum Friuli, with the stress clearly on the U, the name given to the ancient city of Cividale, a major Roman centre in the area. But still, don't be surprised if you hear an Italian say Friuli. It just sounds nicer to many of them. Take a look at this example sentence.
Appena tornate da un bellissimo fine settimana in Friuli.
We just got back from a wonderful weekend in Friuli. Now, to continue your learning and to help you practice everything you've learned here today and make sure that you're pronouncing these Italian words correctly, make sure you download my free PDF cheat sheet. Just click on the link in the description below this video. If you enjoyed this lesson, then you'll love Intrepid Italian, my series of online self-paced video courses that break down everything you need to know about Italian using my unique 80-20 method. More details in the description below. Now, if you enjoyed this lesson, don't miss my lesson on how to learn Italian so fast that it feels like cheating. Just click right here. Plus, if you want to know how Jane Austen, of all people, helped me learn Italian faster and how you can do the same, make sure you watch my video lesson right here. In the meantime, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and turn on those notifications so you get an alert when I post more video lessons like this one. Until next time, un abbraccio. Ciao!